Imagine waking up tomorrow with a level of confidence so powerful that rejection couldn't stop you, fear couldn't slow you, and doubt couldn't control you. Most people think confidence is a gift you're either born with or not. But in the next few minutes, I'll show you it's a skill you can build, a fire you can fuel, and a weapon that makes you unstoppable. Give me your focus, and I'll give you the kind of confidence that changes everything. Confidence is often misunderstood as something you must have before stepping forward. When in reality, it is something that only arrives after you've moved. Many wait for the right moment, the perfect feeling, or the sense that they are fully prepared before daring to act. That wait becomes a trap, keeping people stuck in hesitation, wondering why their lives feel stagnant. Confidence is not born in silence, it is forged in the fire of action. Each time you push yourself beyond the comfort of hesitation, you carve a deeper belief in your own strength. Even small steps have the power to shift the way you see yourself. The mind records every act of courage, no matter how small, as evidence that you are capable. Over time, those small actions pile up into unshakable proof that you can handle whatever comes your way. The cycle is simple. Act first, believe second, repeat consistently. Hit back. Think about the moments in life where you felt proud of yourself. None of them came from sitting on the sidelines or waiting for someone to hand you permission. They came from trying, from daring, from risking the chance of failure and discovering that you could stand tall anyway. Waiting never creates pride, it only creates regret. The regret of time wasted, opportunities missed, and chances left unexplored. When you choose action, even messy action, you prove to yourself that movement is always better than stagnation. Confidence feeds off proof, not promises. Every action becomes a brick in the foundation of a stronger version of yourself. When you look back, you won't remember the comfort of playing safe. You'll remember the boldness of stepping forward. And that memory will fuel the courage for your next move. Many people believe confidence belongs to the naturally gifted, the loud, or the fearless. That is a myth designed to keep the hesitant trapped in their doubts. True confidence does not come from personality. It comes from repeated exposure to discomfort. It is built like a callus on your spirit, layer by layer, until what once terrified you becomes natural. You cannot read your way into confidence. You cannot dream your way into confidence. You must earn it through sweat, attempts, and resilience. Each failed attempt still carries more power than a lifetime of waiting. Failure teaches, shapes, and strengthens in ways that no comfort zone ever can. And when you fail and rise, the belief in yourself deepens because you learn that your strength is greater than any setback. That lesson becomes the bedrock of unshakable confidence. The irony of confidence is that the very thing you're afraid to do is the thing that will create the confidence you crave. If you wait until you feel ready, you will never move because readiness is a mirage that disappears the closer you chase it. Action creates readiness. Action reveals ability. Action silences doubt by giving your brain undeniable evidence that you can move forward, even if imperfectly. No one ever begins with mastery, they begin with courage. The person who dares to act trembling and uncertain, is already ahead of the one who waits endlessly for the perfect moment. That trembling step is the birthplace of dangerous confidence. It may feel small in the moment, but its ripple extends into every corner of your life, showing you that courage multiplies once released. Waiting may feel safe, but it is action that rewrites your story. Confidence is not about removing fear, but about choosing movement despite it. Fear is the constant companion of growth, whispering reasons to shrink back. Yet, every time you act in the presence of fear, you train your nervous system to endure discomfort and rise above it. You show yourself that fear is not a wall, but a signal that you're heading in the right direction. That experience is what separates the bold from the hesitant, not a lack of fear, but a refusal to let fear dictate the outcome. When fear shows up and you move anyway, you create an internal record of victory. That record becomes the archive your mind pulls from the next time fear tries to stop you. With every act of courage, you are rewriting the script of who you believe yourself to be. Over time, fear loses its grip, and action becomes instinct. Think about how children learn to walk. They don't wait until they're certain they won't fall. They move, stumble, and rise again. With each attempt, their confidence grows not because someone convinced them with words, but because they proved it to themselves through repeated action. Adults are no different. We only complicate the process with doubt and hesitation. The truth is, confidence is as simple as the child's first steps. It is built through repetition. You move, you learn, you adapt, and you grow. You are not fragile, and every stumble is simply data for the next attempt. What makes children unstoppable is their refusal to quit. And that same refusal is what can make you dangerously confident. When you keep moving forward despite imperfection, you begin to embody the confidence that others spend their lives wishing for. The secret is not in waiting, but in walking. Confidence that comes from waiting is fragile because it is untested. It shatters at the first sign of challenge because it has no proof to stand on. Confidence built from action, however, is durable because it carries the scars of resilience. When you have acted repeatedly, you know from experience that you can endure failure, embarrassment, or rejection and still keep moving. That lived experience cannot be shaken by opinion or circumstance. It becomes a shield, protecting you from the weight of doubt. You no longer need to convince yourself with empty affirmations because your past actions speak louder than words. it back. You trust yourself because you've proven your courage again and again. That trust is the essence of confidence. Faith in your ability to figure things out no matter what arises. Back. And that faith can only come from action, never from waiting. Every time you choose action, you expand the borders of your comfort zone. What once terrified you becomes routine, back, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. That expansion is the very definition of growth, and growth is the soil where confidence blooms. You will notice yourself speaking differently, walking differently, and showing up in the world with a presence that others feel. People will wonder where your confidence comes from, not realizing it was built through years of courageous choices they never saw. They will see the result, back, not the process, the shine, not the sweat. But you will know the truth. You will know that your confidence was earned moment by moment, step by step, back. And that knowledge will empower you more than any external praise ever could. The source of your confidence will always be within you. The beauty of building confidence through action is that it creates momentum. Each courageous choice leads to another, creating a chain reaction that becomes difficult to stop. What once felt heavy becomes light. What once felt intimidating becomes natural. Confidence grows like compound interest, multiplying faster the more you invest in it. Soon, the gap between who you were and who you are now becomes unrecognizable. The timid version of yourself fades into memory, replaced by someone unafraid to take the stage, back, seize the opportunity, or voice their truth. That transformation is not magic. It is the inevitable result of consistent action. And when you reach that stage, back, you realize confidence was never about waiting to feel worthy. It was always about proving through action that you already were. Rejection is one of the most feared experiences, back, yet it carries the seeds of the greatest growth. People avoid risks because they worry about being turned away, laughed at, or told they are not good enough. Back. But what most fail to see is that rejection is not a final judgment. It is a mirror showing us where to improve. Every no carries information about the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Back. Instead of letting it shrink you, you can choose to let it sharpen you. Those who rise to greatness have been rejected more times than others have even tried. The difference is in how they interpret the rejection. Back. Some see it as proof they should quit, while others see it as an invitation to evolve. That choice makes all the difference in building unshakable confidence. When you reframe rejection as feedback, it back. I trust you strip it of its power to wound. What once felt like a personal attack becomes a learning tool. The sting of rejection is temporary, but the wisdom it carries can last forever if you allow yourself to see it. Each rejection contains a lesson. Sometimes it's about timing, sometimes about skill, sometimes about approach. If you gather those lessons instead of ignoring them, you gain an advantage that others overlook. Back. Most people hide from rejection and therefore miss out on its treasure. But if you stand in the discomfort long enough to listen, rejection will guide you toward a stronger version of yourself. It back. It will not always be pleasant, but it will always be useful. And usefulness is the foundation of growth. Consider how many people give up after just one rejection, believing it defines their worth. They internalize a single no as a permanent label, forgetting that one perspective is not the entire truth. No single voice has the power to dictate your value. Back. Rejection simply means that the fit wasn't right in that moment with that person in that context. It does not mean that your dream is invalid or that you are unworthy of success. Right? Those who understand this refuse to let rejection silence them. They see it as part of the process, not the end of the journey. Every no they encounter becomes another step on the staircase of resilience. Back. By the time others are still licking their wounds, they are already climbing higher. That persistence is what creates dangerous confidence. Rejection also builds emotional endurance. Take it back, teaching that discomfort is survivable. The first time you are turned away, it may feel crushing, but as you face it repeatedly, you begin to realize it cannot break you. Each experience toughens your skin, making you less fragile and more adaptable. Over time, rejection loses its sting, becoming nothing more than feedback on the road to mastery. Back. Imagine the freedom of no longer fearing no. Imagine what risk you would take, what chances you would seize if rejection no longer scared you. That level of freedom allows you to play bigger, attempt bolder moves, back, and pursue opportunities that timid people avoid. And every time you do, your confidence deepens because you know you can handle whatever answer comes. That resilience is rare and it is powerful. That rejection is also a compass pointing you toward the places where growth is necessary. If you get turned away because of a lack of skill, that is a signal to train harder. If you are rejected because of poor preparation, hit it back. It is a reminder to refine your craft. If the rejection comes from misalignment, it shows you where not to waste your time. In every scenario, rejection directs your energy more effectively. Without it, back. You might wander endlessly, chasing paths that were never meant for you. With it, you are guided toward the areas where improvement is most needed. This perspective transforms rejection from an enemy into a mentor. Back. The lessons may be tough, but they are always honest. And honesty, even when painful, is what accelerates growth faster than anything else. When you allow rejection to fuel you, back, you discover that it holds immense motivational energy. Nothing lights a fire like being told you cannot do something. That moment gives you a choice to crumble under the weight of doubt or to rise with determination. If you choose to rise, rejection becomes a spark that ignites relentless drive. The most powerful confidence is not born from comfort, but from defiance in the face of rejection. Back, it is the refusal to accept someone else's limitation as your final reality. Each no becomes another log on the fire, pushing you to prove that you can, you will, and you must. Back. That intensity builds a force inside you that no external voice can silence. Rejection, instead of weakening you, becomes the very thing that strengthens your spirit. Most people hide their rejections, back, ashamed of being turned down, but the truth is that rejection is proof of courage. To be rejected means you dared to try, you risked exposure, you put yourself in the arena. Back, those who never face rejection are often the ones who never tried in the first place. Their lives are safe but small, untouched by failure, and equally untouched by greatness. To wear your rejections proudly is to show the world that you are unafraid of attempting. Every rejection you collect is evidence that you are playing at a level where risk exists. And where there is risk, back, there is also the possibility of reward. Confidence is not built in the shadows of safety, but in the spotlight of risk where rejection and triumph coexist. That is the arena where growth happens. Back, rejection also humbles you in a way that keeps confidence grounded. Without it, success might inflate the ego into arrogance. But facing no reminds you that growth is ongoing and mastery is never final. It keeps you sharp, hungry, and committed to refining your craft. True confidence is not blind pride. It is the balanced knowledge that you are capable and that there is always more to learn. Rejection enforces this balance by showing you both your strengths and your gaps. It prevents complacency and pushes you toward continuous improvement. That humility, combined with persistence, creates a form of confidence that is both powerful and stable. It is not shaken by failure nor inflated by success. It simply endures steady and strong no matter what comes. When you stop fearing rejection, you begin to see it as a gateway to freedom. You no longer hold yourself back, waiting for approval before moving forward. You apply for the opportunity, speak your truth, launch the idea, back, or take the stage without needing a guaranteed outcome. That freedom allows you to live fully without the chains of external validation. You become unstoppable because rejection no longer dictates your choices. Back. And in that space, you discover the real power of confidence. It is not about never being turned away, but about moving forward regardless. Back. Confidence that cannot be broken by rejection is confidence that cannot be broken at all. That is the kind of confidence that makes you unstoppable in every arena of life. Back. Confidence is often mistaken as something people are either born with or forever without, but that belief is a lie that holds countless people back. Confidence is not a mysterious gift granted to a chosen few. It is a skill that can be trained like any other. Think of it like learning to drive, play an instrument, or lift weights. At first, it feels awkward, uncertain, and filled with mistakes. But with repetition, guidance, back, and patience, it becomes second nature. The people you admire for their confidence are not inherently different from you. They simply practice more often, expose themselves to more challenges, back, and built the muscle of confidence over time. If confidence were a gift, only a few could claim it. But because it is a skill, everyone has the ability to master it. The process of building confidence begins with willingness. You must be willing to act even when the outcome is unclear. Skills are not built in theory, they are built in practice, and confidence is no different. Bet you cannot sit on the sidelines analyzing your way into certainty. You must step forward and engage. Every time you face discomfort, you are training your mind and body to handle it better. Back. Just as the body adapts to physical stress or exercise, the mind adapts to psychological stress through exposure. Over time, situations that once made you freeze with fear become manageable. Back. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle difficult environments. That identity shift is the real payoff of training confidence. It transforms who you believe yourself to be. And once you believe, back, you act with even greater certainty. Think about how learning a language works. At first, you stumble through words, mispronounce them, and often feel embarrassed. Yet the only way to become fluent is to keep practicing, making mistakes, and adjusting. Confidence works in the exact same way. At the start, your attempts will feel shaky and imperfect, but each attempt sharpens your ability. Back. The embarrassment you feel at the beginning is not a sign of failure, but a sign that you are learning. If you avoid the discomfort, you avoid the growth. If you embrace it, you accelerate your journey to mastery. The truth is, no one speaks perfectly the first time, and no one acts confidently the first time either. Fluency and confidence only comes through repetition. And repetition requires the courage to show up again and again until the skill becomes part of you. The beauty of treating confidence as a skill is that it removes the mystery and puts control back in your hands. If confidence were a gift, you would be powerless to change it. But as a skill, you can work on it every day with deliberate practice. You can design environments that stretch you, choose actions that challenge you, and measure progress through experience. Every presentation you give, every conversation you start, every risk you take is another training session for your confidence muscle. Over time, the skill compounds back, and you realize you are capable of far more than you imagined. The power lies in persistence, not perfection. By consistently practicing, you separate yourself from those who wait for confidence to magically appear. You stop waiting for luck and instead train yourself to create certainty. Confidence training thrives in discomfort. Just as a muscle cannot grow without resistance, confidence cannot grow without challenge. Back. If you only operate in spaces where you already feel safe, your skill never expands. That is why the people who seem unshakable are often those who have repeatedly placed themselves in uncomfortable situations. Back. They have rehearsed fear, failure, and uncertainty so many times that these states no longer control them. The difference between them and others is not destiny, it is practice. Back. They understand that confidence grows on the edges of discomfort. Every time you lean into that edge, you push the boundaries of what you can handle. And the more you practice at the edges, the larger your comfort zone becomes. Over time, you look back and realize that what once terrified you now feels effortless. Every skill requires feedback, and confidence is no exception. Feedback does not always come in the form of applause or encouragement. Sometimes it comes in the form of mistakes, awkwardness, and rejection. These moments are not signals to quit, but opportunities to refine. Take it back. Each time you stumble, you gather data about what works and what doesn't. That data fuels growth, allowing you to improve your approach the next time. If you avoid feedback because it stings, back. You also avoid the lessons that make you stronger. Those who become dangerously confident are simply those who treat every experience as training, not as a verdict. They know that skill building requires patience and resilience. Just as an athlete studies performance to get better, a confident person studies experiences to grow braver. The cycle of attempt, fail, learn, get back, and repeat is the very foundation of mastery. It is also important to remember that confidence, like all skills, is built gradually. No one goes from timid to fearless in a single leap. Growth happens in layers, back, with each layer preparing you for the next. You do not lift the heaviest weight on your first day in the gym. You build strength over time. Similarly, you do not dominate a stage on your first attempt. You gain composure from smaller moments of practice. These small wins accumulate, and eventually they transform into big wins. The person who starts with a whisper one day can command a room the next, back, simply because they practice consistently. Every layer of growth adds to your arsenal of self-belief. Confidence grows quietly, almost invisibly, back. Until one day you realize you are operating at a level that once felt impossible. That realization is proof of progress. The belief that confidence is a gift makes people passive, waiting for something external to change. But the belief that it is a skill makes people proactive, hungry to practice, and eager to improve. When you see it as a skill, you stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with your past self. Get back. You measure your progress not by how perfect you are, but by how much better you are than yesterday. This shift is powerful because it puts you in control of your own growth. You no longer envy others for their confidence. You learn from them and build your own. And as you progress, your confidence becomes authentic, rooted in earned ability rather than shallow appearances. That authenticity shines through and makes you magnetic. True confidence, trained like a skill, becomes impossible to fake. The greatest evidence that confidence is a skill is that it compounds across areas of life. When you train it in one field, it begins to spill over into others. The courage you gain from speaking up in a meeting makes it easier to approach new people. In fact, the strength you build from trying something new makes it easier to face challenges elsewhere. Confidence multiplies because it is not tied to one activity. It is tied to your identity as someone capable of growing. Back. The more you train, the more universal the skill becomes. It ceases to be situational and becomes a core part of how you live. That is why practicing confidence in small daily actions is so important. Each practice session strengthens the skill, and eventually it becomes second nature in every arena of life. Confidence without competence is fragile, like a house built on sand. It may look strong on the surface, back, but it collapses under pressure because there is no substance beneath it. Real confidence comes from knowing you have prepared, practiced, and earned the right to stand tall. When you can back your words with skills, back, no amount of doubt or criticism can shake you. Competence gives you evidence that your belief in yourself is valid. Empty affirmations cannot provide that. They crumble the moment reality demands proof. True self-assurance is built through hours of work, mistakes corrected, and lessons learned. When you know you have put in the effort, you carry yourself differently. Back. You don't need to fake anything because you are grounded in truth. That truth is what transforms ordinary confidence into something unstoppable. Many try to appear confident without doing the work, back, and they may succeed temporarily. But sooner or later, life tests them and the illusion falls apart. When competence is missing, the pressure exposes weakness that can no longer be hidden. Take it back. Pretending to be confident may fool others for a moment, but it never fools you. Deep down, you know whether or not you have earned your belief. That is why true confidence feels different. It is calm, steady, back, and unshaken by external noise. It does not need to shout or prove because the foundation is already solid. Competence brings certainty, and certainty brings peace. Back. Those who rely only on appearances live in constant fear of being exposed. Those who rely on skill stand firm because nothing can strip away what they have truly earned. Building competence requires dedication, back, discipline, and patience. It means staying with a craft long enough to master the details others overlook. It means putting in the hours when no one is watching, refining small habits that eventually create big results. Back, a competence is not glamorous in the process. It is built through sweat, repetition, and relentless practice. Many give up before reaching it because they want shortcuts to confidence. But shortcuts create illusions back, and illusions never last. Those who stay committed eventually reap a reward that no one can take away. Their skills speak louder than their words, and their results silence all doubt. The moment you no longer need to convince anyone is the moment true confidence is born. And that birth always comes through competence, never through pretense. Competence also brings resilience. It back. When you know your skills are strong, setbacks do not crush you. They challenge you to apply what you have learned. Instead of panicking, you problem solve. Instead of retreating, you adapt. Back. Competence gives you tools to navigate uncertainty, and that ability creates lasting confidence. People who lack competence crumble under stress because they have no foundation to rely on. But those who have trained, prepared, and studied can trust themselves to handle the unknown. That trust is invaluable because life is unpredictable. No one escapes difficulty back, but those with competence carry the quiet assurance that they will find a way. Confidence rooted in competence is not blind, it is realistic. It acknowledges obstacles, but knows there is strength to overcome them. Back. That kind of confidence is unshakable. The connection between competence and confidence can be seen in every profession. The surgeon who has performed countless operations enters the room with steady hands. Athlete who has trained relentlessly walks into competition calm and ready. The leader who has studied, planned, and prepared commands respect effortlessly. Back. Their confidence does not come from wishing. It comes from years of work behind the scenes. Others may look at them and think it is natural, but it is not. It is built brick by brick through consistent commitment. Every late night, every early morning, every sacrifice made contributes to the confidence they now display. The results others admire are only the visible part of the story. Back. At the invisible part, the competence was built long before the spotlight arrived. That is why their confidence looks so natural. It has been earned. When you commit to building competence, back, you also silence the voice of doubt within yourself. Doubt thrives in uncertainty, but competence creates clarity. If you know you have prepared, your inner critic has nothing left to attack it back. You no longer waste energy on insecurity because you have proven your ability through action. Confidence stops being something you chase and becomes something you carry it back. You stand taller not because of empty encouragement, but because you know what you can do. That knowledge empowers you to take risks others avoid, to seize opportunities others fear. Competence turns hesitation into decisiveness. It allows you to trust your instincts because they are informed by skill and experience. And that trust is what makes you dangerously confident. It back. Competence is also what sustains confidence over time. Temporary boosts of motivation may lift you for a moment, but they fade quickly when challenges arise. Skills, however, endure. Once mastered, they cannot be taken from you. The world may shift, opinions may change, but competence remains steady. This is why people who invest in their growth carry confidence with them wherever they go. Even if one door closes, back, they trust themselves to open another because their competence travels with them. That consistency creates freedom because you are no longer dependent on external validation or circumstance. You know you can adapt, back, perform, and succeed because you have built the foundation. The world becomes less intimidating when you know your preparation cannot be stripped away. That realization is liberating. Back. The journey to competence is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The nights of practice, the failures that sting, the lessons that seem endless, all of them are investments in your future confidence. Back. Every moment of struggle is a deposit in the bank of self-belief. And the more deposits you make, the richer your confidence becomes. You don't wake up one day with unshakable assurance. You build it through consistent effort. Each step forward, no matter how small, is part of the process. Competence compounds over time, creating confidence that cannot be faked. Others may look for shortcuts back, but those shortcuts never lead to strength. Only the path of discipline does. And the reward at the end of that path is priceless. True confidence is not loud or arrogant. It is quiet strength that comes from competence. Back. It does not need approval. It does not beg for attention. It does not collapse when challenged. It stands firm because it has been earned. And that is the kind of confidence that changes lives. Back. When you build real skills, you build real belief. When you invest in competence, you invest in confidence that lasts forever. Confidence that is rooted in competence is not just powerful. It is unstoppable. Back. It is the difference between wishing and knowing, between pretending and being. And once you know, nothing can take it away. That is the confidence that makes you truly dangerous, not because of arrogance, but because of undeniable ability.